How you doing, guys? Started looking for a motor for the RJ. I went out to my shed and looked through some of my Kohler engines, and the reason why I wanted a Kohler is all my other tractors are Clinton motors. This specific RJ was originally with a Clinton engine on it. I do have another Clinton engine I could put on it, but I would like to have a Kohler powered one, and this is what I came up with. The first engine I want to look at is right here, this one here. This is a K90, came off a leaf blower. I bought it for 40 bucks complete. I mean, here's the blower covers right there, flywheel's right there, head is right there, as a complete, and the air cleaner's right over here, as a complete motor. Looked over it, looked good, started up, ran, but today in my, I don't know if I can get, oh yeah, you could probably see it right there, that big long line there. Let me just try to, make this a little bit more of a, there it is. Look at that. That is a score in the bore that's like more than optimal. I mean, even if we could find an oversized piston for this motor, that's like ridiculously deep. So I was pissed, to be honest with you, but you know, it wasn't the seller's fault or anything to that effect. It was just luck of the draw when you buy these old engines. So I went back out to the shed and I have this one. This is like another K90 short block. This one, as you see it, is how I got it, but I got this one for free, so that's a plus. The only thing with this motor was, I'm just going to do this. I don't know if I can show. It's a little dirty in there, I know, but let's see here. Let me just get a piece of paper towel real quick, and let me just, because I had some. All right, there we go. And I'll shine a light in there a little bit so you can see a little better. There was some rust in this bore because this has not had a head on it in God knows how long, but the bore itself is in real good shape. The piston doesn't rock in the bore at all. We'll bring that back up. I mean, there's no rock in the bore at all. We'll go down to halfway. There's nothing noticeable, and I'll push it down to the bottom of the, bottom of the stroke, and there's nothing noticeable. So what I did was I just got some PB Blaster and a Scotch Brite pad, and I took the rust off, and this thing's in good shape. The valves look like they're in real good shape. Doesn't look like there's a lot of crud there. There's some crud around it. Look at that intake valve open up. There it is. You know, that looks pretty good. Everything looks good. It did have a big pulley on it. I just took that off at the impact. What I'm going to do now is I am going to drain the oil out of it, and we're going to drop the pan. There's some scuzzy oil and crap right here, but we'll get that fixed up. And take a look at the inside. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, I didn't end up pulling the pan off the motor. What I did was I pulled the dipstick, the drain plug out, and I took an LED light camera, went inside there. It's squeaky clean. Everything looked good as far as I can tell. And there's no like knocking on the crankshaft. So I'm just gonna run it. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take everything off of this motor: carburetor, breather, ignition system, the head, the flywheel. I'm even gonna take some of the, I think I'm even gonna take some of the governor parts off this engine, off these, and swap it out. I may or may not, I don't know yet. But the breather, gonna put the older style breather on it. And the other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna fix, this exhaust is perfect. This one is not, so we'll have to fix, I'll have to take that out and drill it, and we'll get that going. Actually, let's take a look at something. I didn't even think about looking at this before. It needs to be cleaned. Yeah, it's got some dirt and shit in there, so we'll clean that up. But this is the motor that we're gonna run. This short block is gonna go on the RJ35. It's red, so it's kind of cool. We're gonna run the old style blower cover on it. I think I'm gonna try to retrofit my electric starter on this motor also, so that way we have electric start, and we'll go from there. Right now, it needs a, full ignition, total tune-up. You get a head gasket, got to clean the head, got to clean the deck surface, clean all the fins out, because they got some, this one's really, it's got a lot of oil packed in here, so we'll get all that out. As usual, I don't even listen to myself. I wasn't going to work on this motor today, but I ended up working on it a little bit. Basically just cleaned it all up, wiped it all down, blew it off. The bore looks really good. The lighting is making those spots a heck of a lot worse than they really are. They're not that bad. The piston seems to seal up real good. Real happy with that. One of the things I did have an issue with was with this bolt, but ultimately it doesn't matter because the RJ35s, or any of the RJs for that matter, they always had a threaded port. So what I did was I broke out my half 14 pipe tap and a crescent wrench just so I can have a little bit more leverage, and I just got done tapping the port. So the port's tapped. Make my flashlight take a look at that a little better maybe. Maybe not. This camera sucks. It was a freebie, so can't complain too much, but the threads look really good. And then instead of trying to get the bolt out, which was going to be a nightmare, I just knocked it down, made it flat. Once you've got the exhaust pipe or exhaust nipple coming out and the angle, we're going to be in good shape. So with that, this engine is on its way. I'm back. So the short block is completely cleaned and ready to go. Cleaned all the fins. I chased all the threads, head bolts for the carburetor. I chased these threads. This thread right here, this 1/4-20 is pretty blown out actually. Don't know if I'm going to be able to get a good shot of it, but the bolt does go in there. It does tighten down, but I got to keep in mind not to crank the heck out of it. The bearing plate on that motor is wasted on the top, so I can't really swap it. The seal looks good. All the mounting for the mag looks good. The crankshaft, I started cleaning that up. I'll get that done. I checked the valve lash. The intake is supposed to be 6 thousandths. Exhaust is supposed to be 12. The exhaust is dead nuts. It's 12. The intake is like 7, maybe 8. A 6 is just loose. An 8 is just, it drags a little hard. So it's somewhere in there. Good enough. It's not a performance machine. Cleaned all this up. So we're pretty much all set. Now the bore looks real good, like I said before. I'm real happy with the bore. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. That is just, there was some rust in the bore, but it is just, that's just staining. All the rust is out. It's in good shape. I cookie wheeled the top of the piston. Cookie wheeled the top of everything, so it's all good and clean. I hosed everything down with brake cleaner and blew it off with my blowgun. I took a little toothbrush in some of the harder areas, but it's all there. You can see the threads that I just tapped for the 1/2-inch pipe. See, let's go back. There it is, right there. For the 1/2-inch pipe, it came out real nice. 1/2-inch pipe goes right in without an issue. So we're good there. Overall, the motor looks real good. This is going to be a good running motor. I'll get a new coil. I don't know. I may just run that coil, but I'm going to clean up the crankshaft and get everything all set to go. I'm going to soak the head and that carburetor in some carburetor gunk cleaner over the next couple days, get it good and clean, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, thanks a lot. Later.